How's it going, guys? Shaw here from Shaw Concepts. It's 2026 and we're ready to show you all of our stuff we have in the booth. A lot of it's prototypes that'll be trickled out throughout the year, and some of them are, right before production, and some of them have some time. So we'd love to get your feedback after showing you all this. And some of these need new names, as for a variety of reasons we want to change the naming of certain new versions that we have. So we want to show this to all the people that couldn't make it to SHOT Show, or those that did make it to SHOT Show but couldn't ever pull away to get to our booth. So with that said, we're at booth 60508, and let's get started. We're going to start from left to right throughout the booth, and each table has a few things on it. So we have some of our, already released products, our Raid Pouch V3, our second wind kit, our admin pouch, but we're going to start working on the displays themselves. At the top, we have our soon-to-release ARC helmet cover. We're going to be able to offer this in Marpat Woodland and Marpat Desert, along with Multicam, Ranger Green, and some other colors like Multicam Tropic, Multicam Arid, and Woodland. But the key thing is that this thing is able to hold or cover an ECH, so that all the Marines issued a Gentex ECH can wear it, as well as those that have a OpsCore SF or an OpsCore Next Gen SF there. More videos coming out on this guy and all its features, but we're going ahead and teasing every setup out here with one. But here we have our chest rig system, and this is not a comprehensive video on S-Lock, but it is going to start showing you how that suite can be used. So our chest rig suite here is set up with our H-harness setup back here, and our future bib, which can basically take different hardware, kind of like our plate carrier does at the top with the straps, but you can attach a first spear tube on one side, and then some custom metal stuff we're putting together so that you can easily scale things pretty much up or down on your own. And it's not a quick detach, but it is a way to attach and build the kit as you need it. Our chest rig sleeves here work with a plug that goes to the harness, and you'll start to kind of see how this plug and core system works out as we go from a chest rig up to a plate carrier. On the back side of this is the Plate Care Pack V2. This is something that we will be renaming as Plate Care Pack. It's very bad for SEO, so if you have any name recommendations, we are all ears to that. But we'll kind of get into that as we go to another one, so you can see some of the features that should be coming with the Plate Care Pack V2. As we kind of roll over here, you see pretty much a very similar setup, but here there's no bib. There are dedicated chest rig straps that go from the H harness, and they're swapped out here through these Velcro tunnels on the top, and that allows you to switch out the type of strap it terminates in. So here it's going just to the placard, kind of in your typical H harness setup. It has the same sleeves there. It's got the radio wing V2 under it, and the same sleeve and plug system that goes to a H harness, and we got a Plate Care Pack V2 back there as well. These straps have been redone so that they're a little more low profile now, so especially when you have a shoulder pad or anything else like that, it's not just stacking a ton of stuff. And it also will have dedicated shoulder strap extensions that we'll be showing you shortly on that. But moving this way is the first look at one of our most highly requested items, and that is a harness for the carrier system. But unlike the ABS harness out there, this can be ran standalone as a chest rig as well. And so really this setup is very similar to the first one. It has the bib, has the placard. The placard has 417 mags inside there, so yes, the Ram 308 does hold 417 mags. But the harness is being set up and it's running off of 3-inch S-Lock sleeves here. So S-Lock will also allow the cummerbund to be different sleeves, where you can have, a 3-inch one, a 5-inch one, and then the chest rig variant, which is a shorter one. And again, you get that one-size-fits-all setup, just like our Usurper belt outer. And that's actually how this started way back a few years ago, is taking the belt and saying, hey, we can scale this up to a cummerbund. And all that's still patent pending. But this has been a long time in the making, and we're actually really excited to start teasing this out. But we'll go over more features and mechanisms in a future video at launch, and we're thinking around July 4th is when a lot of these components will be going. But you can see that from the back side, you have these large 4 pads, and this is height adjustable as a harness, as well as length adjustable up here. And it also kind of all comes together, but you'll get to see the backside shortly. Down here is the Raid Light. This is another highly recommended or requested item from our customers. It's the Raid pouch, but with a lot of the features removed and a different profile. So for those that found that the Raid Light or the Raid V3 got in the way of their legs, The Raid Lite is a more low profile and more cost effective solution for that. Still retains the first spear tube, still be able to take a fanny pack strap, lash on stuff on the bottom, tourniquet, a looped line interior, addition of pen sleeves on the front, just in that unused space. And yeah, I think this will be a good solution for those that didn't really love the Raid V3 or didn't need the clamshell, didn't need all the features that we packed into that. And that'll drive the cost of that down as well. So it'll be a more value proposition for that. So um, as we kind of move in over here, this is a Art Carrier V2, but set up in a more SWAT configuration. So here's our Arc shoulder pauldrons here. Basically, the key thing with these is that it is a pleated soft arm solution, so it is a 3D shape there. But also, the harness is not just a single point, but it's on a pulley. So that pulley will allow this to roll with that rotator cuff or that shoulder joint and allow you to basically have a little more freedom of movement. People hate wearing these, but some departments require it. And so for those that have to wear it, we wanted to really make a solid solution for people that need to wear it. And hey, we made a good one for you. And it is padded as well. It's not just soft armor. And from there, we have the up armor behind this, just showing, hey, how much can this scale up? Below it is our Magnum abdominal insert below there. And here is the new Molly placard. So it takes a lot of the features of our Arc placard, the height adjustable straps with swappable hardware, first spear tubes, something we introduced years ago and it's really caught on in the industry, as well as a bottom tourniquet sleeve that is integrated in this. So if you want to build out your own placard with pouches, you can do so with this and still get a lot of the features from it. Moving on down, we have the Regicside. The Regicside is a configuration that allows you to run our new Regicside inner belt. It is basically like the Usurper inner belt, but a lot simpler, and it is a padded belt that can be used with other people's outer belts. If you want to run someone else's outer belt, you still get all that padding and that rigidity from this. And our design philosophy is that anything that touches the body should be padded. You see that in pretty much everything you wear ends up being that way. So it really doesn't make sense to have 2-inch scuba webbing digging in your hips for hours on end or days on end and creating rashes and stuff. But beyond that, the outer belt is pretty much the same thing, but it terminates in a FM Cobra buckle, or really any other buckle that you could want that is a 1-inch. And as we swing this off, you can see it is pretty much the same hardware, same sleeves, core and stuff, but it's basically just a standard 2-piece belt. You're just Velcro stacking it, tightening this down, capturing all that. And yeah, it's really light, so if you essentially wanted all the features of the Usurper belt, but you didn't love how it came together or its complexity, this might be a really good option for you. And if you already have a Usurper belt and you want to run this, don't worry, you just need to get a 1-inch buckle, take off your G-hooks, and set it up that way, and then grab the inner belt. And we think that this inner belt's going to come in at a pretty good price as well compared to the Usurper inner belts. So we're just going to leave that there and reset it later. But moving down, we have the Arc Carrier V2 again, but in Tropic with the 5-inch sleeve. So you can see that you saw the 3-inch, you saw the chest rig, now you see the 5-inch. And so this one's really good if you want to add a large amount of soft armor or hard plates to this. It has more mounting real estate for pouches that will support that side plate. So you can actually have that, not just like floundering or anything flopping around. This can essentially do that. And it really helps out if you have a lot of pouches that need multiple rows of Molly to do that. Again, Raid Lite. And on the back side, we'll probably flip around after and run down the future back panel there. But just quickly spotlighting the Arc Placard V4 again. I know we've gone over some of the inserts, but here we have the 55556 with the double pistol and an Omni Stacker half size there. So again, really the Arc Placard just continues to get more and more versatile, offer just a ton of options. So you could go very basic with 55556, or you can start plussing up. And even as we come in over here, we have really just 6 mags in there through the Spectre insert and the RAM 55556. Moving on to this display, it's a lot easier if I just take this off and run you through it, but this is where a lot of the features of S-Lock come together to show you just the possibilities. So a lot of these features and setups might not be for everybody, but it's really here to illustrate all the things that you could do with this. So here we have the harness again set up on this. We have a rear plate bag from the Arc Carrier V2, but we have our speed bag in the front, our bib, our half omni stacker. And so basically when you open this up, you'll see that the inside roughly looks about the same, but this is actually a completely separate plate bag. So if I tear that off, it's really just a plate with the stratus pads on it and the ability to, still take a first spear tube for the raid pouch. But now you essentially just have a chest rig, right, on that front side. You still have a rear plate bag, but we'll get to that shortly. And this all plugs up, so you could, in theory, run a plate carrier or your chest rig exactly the same. You don't have to change your radios, your push-to-talks, anything else like that. Everything is threaded the same, and here we have our 3-inch S-lock sleeve. Again, it's plugged in directly to the placard, so you don't have any Velcro flaps that you're like ripping up and down. On the back side, we have our Arc Assault zip-on panel. Again, that name is a tentative name, but we'll come back to that shortly. But the way this scales up is essentially we have some custom metal hardware that we will take, and through these basically T-stoppers and other things, you're basically scaling your armor as you need on the backside as well. So on the front, it was Velcro, but on the backside, we're using these T-stoppers to effectively grab all of this. You have your rear plate bag, so you could have your front and rear plate bags stowed away. Let's say if you're moving a good distance, and now you have your chest rig set up just like we saw in the other setup over there. And over here you can see that it is height adjustable as well as side-to-side adjustable, because the core that is used in the cummerbund can slide through, have its stopper go in. You get that shock cord breathability there, so you're still getting that stretch in the cummerbund when you're breathing. You still have the ability to have this stiffened spine set to a different height depending on the user's height, and pretty much you have a independent system that can be scaled up and down. And if you have your radios, push-to-talks, everything else like that, you're good to go. These are additional shoulder pads, so if you were to basically just take these off in literally the same manner that you saw how the rear one comes off, it's just a different sized slot there. So basically get that toggle through there, and you could literally just slide that off. You have a cover for it, and similar to the ABS in that it's using the stiffened back spine to go through all the way to the shoulder pad, and then using a lumbar pad to hug the back of the lats essentially. And then putting this on is still simple. It's not a quick detach, but it does allow you to scale this up quickly when you're swapping setups. Goes on easily, and then you could cover it up if you don't want that metal visible, reflecting, anything like that. So that is the setup there. Now going over the Arc zip-on panel, we're really reworking the name, so if you have any recommendations for this, feel free to comment down below. But it's a zip-on panel that follows the UCAS or the Faro zipper slider profile. So not that there is a standard, we are able to proceed and make sure that it works with as many carriers as possible. But this is just a prototype. Right now it has the zippers, but it also has the ability to fully molly. So if your carrier doesn't have that zipper profile, great, you're just going to stow these away and fully molly this in your carrier. So if you're a Marine with a Gen 3 or Gen 2, or in the Army with an MSV, or really whatever, you don't have to worry about will this work with your kit or not. Obviously, there's always exceptions to what will and won't work, but on this side, we have a just general pocket down here with a divider that is optional, and that is because we have a top placard area that accepts inserts very much like our placards do. So you can put a RAM insert there, Omni stack, or all sorts of stuff, or other people's flaps and stuff to create an admin pocket up here. Or you could just open up that divider and run long charges down here, or anything else like that. And that also take buckles, flaps, shock cord. Molly on the sides, so you could do a double column one or single up there. Ports for antennas or hydration hoses. A main compartment for a bladder, or this sheet so you can mount an MPU-5 or other radios to it, slide it down out of the way. And then on the back side, we have a tool pocket, but you basically just open up the bottom of this thing, pull it all out like that. We're going to add little holes on this just so that it's a easier process to get it fully clean out. But then on the inside, we have a deployable Tegris sheath. So you're not going to be able to see it, but you'll see that gets stiffened as this now becomes Tegris. And that way, if you have a Halligan or bolt cutters with really sharp edges, it's not tearing up the fabric. And when you're done with it, you can just push it back in. Now that's empty, and you will basically just take this and stow all that really just back in there. Try to do it nice and clean so it's flat, and you're done. So that is the ARC Assault zip-on panel, whatever we name it. If there's any features you want to see out of this, let us know. But really, our goal is to make a really versatile panel that, you know, it's not just 3 bangs in a pocket. Not a lot of people are issued flashbangs. There's a lot of infantrymen that would love to have a pack like this that basically, you know, are looking to hold more mags, more add-in stuff. So it's a good alternative for guys there. Now this is the ARC Ghost. This is our first collaborative carrier, and it's actually with Matt Bach. And we really came together to come up with a carrier for a certain community that had some requirements for a lightweight, hydrophobic carrier that was really robust, really feature-rich compared to what they've had before. And so we came together with our design for the ARC Light and their Ghost material and produced the ARC Ghost. It's not a one-for-one of the ARC Light. There are some small differences like a drag handle, how some of the straps come together, and really just trying to lighten it as much as possible. Inside we have some US Armor Forge plates in there that are super light. And really it's just a ARC Placard V4, ARC cummerbund, a modified ARC Light in Ghost laminate, as well as some altered radio wings so that it's super light, sheds water really quickly, and is just super robust. So this will be available only for government sales, so units that are interested in that or individuals that need to, you know, demo or T&E for that can contact Matt Bach for that. Moving on to what's available to everybody, public and government, is the ARC Light. Goal of this was to take the ARC Carrier V2, lighten it, kind of remove some of the features that might weigh it down that people don't use as much, specifically, you know, the plate bags and stuff. And if you're okay with exposed plates, and most modern plates are, you know, good for that, the ARC Light might be a good answer for you, where you still have to feature a lot of the different aspects of the ARC Carrier V2, but with a lot less bulk there present. So the goal is to launch this Q2. On the front here, we have the ARC Placard V4 with a Ram 308 insert in there. And you can see that that pocket expands to hold, again, a variety of magazines and calibers. We have our 3-inch S-Lock sleeves on the sides and a Ray Pouch V3 on the front. So rolling onto the back, we'll go over the pack. Moving on to the Plate Care Pack V2, we are naming this as that naming convention is terrible for SEO. So if you have any recommendations, let us know. But the V2 is really just a refresh of the V1 and basically making it look better, giving it more dimensional differences that we noticed kind of got in the way of certain items, and also adding more features. So now it can hold a 117 Culf even better, as well as some of its other items. Removable compression straps are still present, and you could also have that strap actually, instead of going across, go to a buckle mounted to the side there. We still have our outer pockets, but they have cable ports now, so if you want to run something to this exterior pocket, you can for that. Same thing down here. And it can hold, you know, a fire hose charge rolled up in here. Still have Velcro in here for organizers. And it's still fully clamshells open, so that if you do want to use this as an aid bag, you can with 4 Medicus inserts. We're bringing back the MOLLE on the inside, and it still can do hydration there, as well as Velcro lining everywhere. At the bottom is the ability to deploy a tool sheath there, and we have MOLLE on the bottom. And this tool sheath, unlike the zip-on panel, does require a Tegra shim to be put down, or a sheath, so we'll be offering an updated version of that as well. Still have a pocket at the top for antenna or hydro access with a G-hook to take that stress off the zipper. We still have 2 rows of MOLLE on each side, and we will be offering a new strap system. So that way, if you want to take that dedicated shoulder straps and you want to make this a pack that runs just off your back and off a carrier or chest rig, you can with these guys. So really just more of an update with additional features and stuff, not a complete departure from the V1. Highlighting one more thing on the ARC helmet cover, just because I don't know if we really were able to spotlight it as much over there, is this cordage running down with the tacks allows you to basically dummy cord things on or attach veg to it. So you are able to actually, dummy cord things on. You don't have to go all the way to a rail point elsewhere. And then you obviously should tighten that up a bit more and tape it down. But you're also able to run wires through it before they get through the cover, so that from here to here, your cables are completely hidden. But here you can just make them a little less of a snag hazard by tightly routing them there and eventually going into the brain pouch. So we also worked on the Velcro profile here so that you could add other things to it. And if you want to run your Hellstar strobe a little further back, you can run on the top. Just one thing we wanted to quickly highlight about the our helmet cover as well. Going over some of the possibilities of the features we went over on the zip-on panel, but just kind of showing that a bit more. Here you can see that the hydration hose is coming out right here out of that side port, and the antenna on the other one. And the tool sheath is stowed away, so you don't have to have it deployed if you don't want to. And up here we have a 55556 RAM and an Omni stacker here, so you can essentially use this as an admin area as well as just additional mag retention. And most 55556 cells will hold a bank if they have to, so you really end up with a really multi-purpose area up here that can do a lot more than just 3 bangs. You can just see how this comes together. It's not really just for one role. If you're an infantryman, you can run it. If you are a tier 1 breacher, you can run it as well. You might be familiar with the PC panel already, but PC panel is getting a slight update with the shoulder straps that you see on the Plate Care Pack V2. The back panel isn't changing too much other than the straps themselves, so the panel has been killing it, honestly, in terms of its silhouette and how it lays on there, but we did want to update the straps with the Plate Care Pack V2 as it's getting better straps and the ability to have the extenders attached to it if you want to run this as a dedicated pack, as some people will build out the pack they want out of MOLLE pouches or other MOLLE-on packs, essentially. So everything is getting a little bit of a facelift when it comes to the packs for us. And as we make our way back to kind of the original point here, on the back side you can see the Plate Care Pack V2 being attached to 2 different chest rig setups. And really we just want to iterate that the Plate Care Pack V2 can be attached on plate carriers or chest rigs or standalone. So it's a really versatile pack in how it can be used, but also how it can be worn on the body. So just tons of options with this, especially with some of the different dimensions we've done to it. So if you need an OP bag or you need to just kind of be an RTO and carry your pack around with you, it doesn't matter if you're wearing a chest rig or not. You just have really a lot of options on how you want to run stuff. Over here on this wall, we have the Shaw Concepts Partner Forces. We just love to highlight other brands that we've worked with or that we just enjoy, using their products, and really just spotlight smaller companies. HESCO was kind enough to have us in their booth on our first SHOT Show. We like to return the favor each year with other brands that might not need a booth or justify a full booth, but they can still show their products and have discussions with customers. So over here we have Agonic. They basically make a lot of concealed carry stuff built off of a lot of experience there. And here they have their EDB in various colors, and just great concealed carry belt, elastic all the way around, and can support the weight of a handgun and other accessories. Down here we have their ISO accessory suite, able to hold mags, bunch of different things, medical, radios, cuffs, and tuck them all away hidden. And over here is the LWP V2, just comfortable pants designed around carrying all the stuff really hidden, and definitely check them out. Over here is Alpin Design Works. We've been working with them since the beginning. They've been extremely helpful, but here's their W-Zip, able to store ammo, but also a lot more things. That they hate it when we just point everything to ammo, but you could use this as a hygiene bag or just a tool bag. You have 2 pockets and then it zips up together, and now you have one easy solution to manage at the range or anywhere else. Over here is their MRAD pouch, so able to store that, removable flap, and these have been really catching on for those that do run these and need a mag pouch for that, as there's just not a ton of options out there. Over here's their NVG pouch. People ask us, hey, do you have an NVG pouch? We don't. We point them towards this. We love it. You got a little storage over here. It's padded, but they also have rigid versions and versions for different device sizes as well. They just keep adding to that portfolio of different options, and inside of the new Matlock Tarsiers as well. Over here is their fume gas mask pouch. So stores a mask with a filter on it, has some stove in there for just other things, belt attachment, fanny pack attachment. So definitely check that out. And down here is their large U-Zip. They offer small, medium, large, bunch of sizes. Honestly, great for just storing whatever. I use mine again for ammo, but something like this is great for travel as just like a packing cell. And over here is Henry Holsters. They make great, simple, but feature-rich holsters that are just well made. I actually use the Ember myself, 43X with a light on it, and just really comfortable stuff, really well put together stuff, and also at a great price. They are showing off some of their different stuff, like their Velcro mount for holsters if you want to run it that way inside of our Raid V3. and really just different options, as well as magazine pouches with, again, the Velcro style mounting, or clamping onto a belt and actually changing the angle of that pouch. So we got it for pistol and rifle over here, and just great holsters all around. All in all, we have a ton of stuff coming out in 2026, and we have some other things that we haven't shown that should be coming out as well. So we'll be dripping this out throughout the year, and we really have an offering in nearly every category, from helmets with helmet covers to cummerbunds and that harness system, as well as a new belt configuration and other little pouches we're mixing in there, as well as we're able to actually deliver on those things. So we appreciate your support, and as always, conquer